And welcome back to episode 12 of Shit Talkin' with Ellen.
Season 2, episode 2, thank you very much.
Okay, listen. It's episode 12.
We're not doing this episode 12 shit.
What if
Are
it
we
was
not?
like the 13th episode?
Next is going to be the 13th episode. Just keep it episode 13, but then the rest of them be like season 2, episode 2, and then next episode be episode 13.
You're so clever.
Do I have to remember 13 intervals then? Is that what we're doing?
Yes.
Every 13th? Fuck off.
Yes. It's not happening. Well, just for the 13th episode, because 13.
Because it's a good number.
Fuck off. No, we're not doing that. Hi,
You're
it's
so
Frankie.
rude.
Yo, what's up? I'm Jenna.
Hi, it's Ian.
Hi, I'm Ellen.
And today, we have a special guest.
Finally.
The first special guest of season 2.
Woo!
Introduce yourself.
Do I have to?
No.
We have Amanda. Say hi, Amanda.
Hi guys. Yeah.
All right, we're
She
super,
was so talkative before we
super
started
excited to
recording.
have Amanda on the podcast today.
She doesn't know.
I'm actually very excited because like she's gonna talk so much shit.
I do talk a lot of shit. I love you, Ian.
I love you too.
Thank you
So,
so much.
today's my episode.
Wonderful.
And so I decided we're going to take it back to the roots of Shit Talking with Ellen.
LeVar Burton.
We're going to take it back. Yeah, my boy LeVar Burton. We're talking about LeVar Burton today. Now,
Who's LeVar Burton?
The Reading Rainbow guy.
that guy hosted Reading Rainbow.
Yeah.
I have no idea what we're talking about.
He was on Star Trek. He played the black guy in Star Trek Next Generation.
Was he the black guy?
Yeah. You have no idea what's happening, do you?
No idea.
I fucking hate you. That picture's
He
going
was
on.
also Kunta Kinte in Roots. You know.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
Today's...
Does he have a
Today's-
big dick?
I don't know.
Probably. You know,
Okay.
he probably has a big dick, so.
We don't know this.
See,
This-
I answer the important questions.
Thank
Yeah,
you, Ian.
so I appreciate it. But by taking it back to the roots, I meant that today we're going back to serial killers.
Albert Fish.
So we're not doing Albert Fish now. We started off the show with Jenna's favorite, or Jenna's fuck off, Ellen's favorite serial
goddamn
killer.
time.
Every time. It's been like an
Okay,
occurrence.
just
This
because
is
they both
why-
have dark hair and like
This is why he
kind
needs
of
to
look
back.
the same
This
doesn't mean they're the same person.
has been a repeating occurrence since last week when we recorded.
I just noticed that we all have dark hair,
Except me.
except for Amanda. But
Except
Amanda's
for
not a
us.
regular on the
She,
show.
yeah.
I'm also Japanese,
She's
so
an
I
outcast.
shouldn't fucking have
so is me.
So am I.
blonde hair.
But she has blonde hair and is Japanese. That's weird.
Yeah. I'm part of the Aryan race.
She's super kawaii.
Anyway, we did Ellen's favorite serial killer, who is...
H.H. Holmes.
Murder Castle.
Yes.
Yeah, everyone's favorite serial killer. So,
I forgot about that.
How do
we're
you
going
forget?
to
That was our
do
favorite joke for so long.
my
I
favorite
never
serial
watched the
killer.
episodes.
My favorite serial killer. A serial killer who didn't get caught, unlike H.H. Holmes.
Yeah, fuck off.
The Zodiac Killer.
I wish it was Jeffrey Dahmer.
Yeah, but you didn't fucking have a murder castle.
Yeah, but he got away with it, so, you know.
But murder castle.
And he's got some pretty funny stuff.
He
You
would
know,
have gotten
guys-
away with it if he wasn't like a fucking con
If it
artist.
weren't for those meddling kids.
Did Scooby-Doo catch H.H. Holmes? Is that what we're talking
Yeah.
about
Yes.
Yeah.
But guys, we need to be serious and talk about Ted Cruz. Come
now?
on.
Ted Cruz.
Ted
the
Cruz.
Zodiac Killer.
Is that
So-
joke old yet?
No, it's always funny.
Yeah.
Timely. Always timely. He's still around. He's
I
still
was
alive.
gonna say, I don't know about
I thought
funny.
it was legit. I didn't know it was a joke.
You didn't know it was a joke? We're going to get into that, actually. That's going to be part of the episode. We're going to talk about
Ted
the
Cruz.
origins of Ted Cruz being the Zodiac Killer.
I'm so
Cruz
excited.
is not the fucking Zodiac.
Which was when he was
Yes,
born.
he
Which was when he
is.
was born. He came out the womb saying, "I'm the Zodiac Killer." And
Amanda is spreading fake news, everybody. Fake news.
okay,
I'm a
so
Trump supporter too. No, I'd kill myself if I was.
I'm actually the Zodiac Killer. Surprise.
okay,
She's Ellen.
so
It's
We're gonna start.
Ellen, Zodiac Killer.
we're gonna start. We have some of the confirmed attacks. There are only 4.
I thought there were 5.
4 confirmed
Yeah,
attacks.
fucking
There
There are
Five.
5 confirmed victims, 4 confirmed attacks.
That's some bullshit.
Sometimes there's more than one victim at an attack.
Somebody was doing
What?
their math wrong.
Yeah.
So
I
the
agree
first,
with Ian.
the first confirmed attack was on December 20th, 1968,
I thought it was
where
69.
David Arthur Faraday and Betty Lou Jensen
Okay.
were shot and killed.
I thought it was 69 because the movie Zodiac says 1969.
No.
Oh, because the movie Zodiac is completely correct because
It
Jake
is.
Gyllenhaal was alive.
Oh,
But
Jake
also-
Gyllenhaal is beautiful.
And Mark Ruffalo is also in that movie.
that cancels out all facts.
See,
And Robert Downey Jr. That's like The power trio right there.
See, here's the thing though. Jake Gyllenhaal takes that movie up like 5 levels, and Mark Ruffalo is trying to tear it down 3 levels.
Speaking of Robert Downey Jr., I have the greatest idea ever. Right? Okay, this has nothing to do with what we're talking
That's
about.
literally this entire podcast. We talk about like the thing for like 3 seconds, and then we go off on
And then we
tangents.
get back to it sometime
Does anybody
later.
remember the Road to El Dorado?
Yes.
Wouldn't it be great if Robert Downey Jr. and Neil Patrick Harris played Miguel Toledo?
Oh my god.
Right?
Have you been on Reddit? Because that idea is all over Reddit.
Is it really?
Yes, it is.
Are you Reddit, Amanda? Are you Reddit?
God damn it, you found out my fucking secret.
I knew it.
No, my friend Hannah mentioned it. She must have got it from like Reddit or Tumblr or
Probably.
something. And I was like, that's a
Ellen,
genius
Ellen,
idea.
you want to say that in the mic? Ellen, you want to say that into the mic?
I have no idea what's going on. I don't know what they're talking about.
It's fine. Neither do I.
Okay, cool.
Have you never
All right,
seen?
no,
Road to
second.
fucking El Dorado.
Second
it's the
confirmed.
Me too.
So, second confirmed attack.
Wait, it's with the lizard?
No,
The lizard! It has a lizard!
That's the
That's
one
Tangled.
with the
Oh,
armadillo.
Tangled.
Tangled has a lizard.
Oh, gotcha. All right.
So anyway.
It's a chameleon.
So in the first confirmed attack, 2 people died. The second confirmed attack, Michael Majau, I hope I said that right. Sorry,
Maju,
Michael.
it's Maju.
Maju.
It's Maju.
And Darlene
No,
Farron
I'm not sure.
were shot on July 4th, 1969. And while Maju survived the attack, Farron was pronounced dead when she got to the hospital.
Maju, like,
So maybe you got it confused. Because there's 2 attacks that are very similar.
Listen, the movie Zodiac said 1969 for
That
all
attack
the
wasn't
deaths.
it? All
For
Let's
all of
watch
them.
that.
All. It's all but 2. All but 2 are in 1969. So the next attack, Brian
well, what do you think
Hartnell
69 is about?
and Cecilia Shepard
Okay, no,
were
no.
stabbed on September 27th, 1969. Hartnell would survive 8 stab wounds to the back, but Shepard died as a result of her injuries.
Ah, that's all right.
Is it okay?
Wait, how did the first person die again?
The first 2 were shot and killed. The next person was shot, and then these people were stabbed.
Was
Yeah,
that second
stabbing-
person? Wasn't that second person that was shot a cab driver or something?
No, that's later. That's
yeah.
that's the next confirmed attack. Paul Stein, 29, shot and killed October 11th, 1969.
Man,
Okay,
the
Zodiac
stab-
missed one then.
The stabbing.
Zodiac missed the first murder.
No, it missed the second one.
No, the second one happened in 1969.
Yeah, but it didn't.
It
do
didn't
the
do
second
it?
one. They didn't do it. They didn't show it on camera at
The
least.
Zodiac's a pussy, man. I would have stabbed all of my victims.
All of them. We
all
shot.
of the victims.
Why? You don't stab everyone.
Yeah, you do. If you want to
Sometimes
be
you just
painted in
gotta
their blood.
snipe someone, you know?
Sometimes you gotta get it over with fast.
No.
You got,
What do you think
Yeah,
cutting
but
their
did you-
throats
Sometimes
is?
you need to snipe someone at point
You know
blank
what?
range.
Sometimes
Yeah,
you just
but-
need to eat chocolate.
To
That's all. That's all that you need to do. This would have all been like not happening if the Zodiac Killer just ate a lot of chocolate.
I don't know if that's entirely accurate. I think he needed to get laid, but I don't think any girl would be like, "Oh, put your dick in me," because he's
Weren't
creepy.
there a lot of prostitute kills?
no.
That's Jack the Ripper.
Was that
Ellen.
Jack the Ripper?
No,
The
you're
Zodiac
thinking
killed-
of Jeffrey Dahmer too, because that was a bunch of.
He was gay.
Yeah.
He was gay.
Yeah, but
Okay,
gay
was-
prostitutes are a thing.
I think I
fucking
was
gay?
thinking of Jack the Ripper though.
Yeah, Jack the Ripper killed the
Yeah, and he
prostitutes.
cut out.
They're all the same.
No!
I'm just kidding.
Remember, we talked about Jack the Ripper because H.H. Holmes was suspected
Yeah.
of being Jack the Ripper.
Who
Yeah.
wasn't suspected of being Jack the Ripper? I'm surprised I wasn't being suspected of being Jack the Ripper.
I know I
Guys,
was.
It's time for me to come clean. I am Jack the Ripper.
Man, 2 special stars today: the Zodiac Killer and
No,
Jack the
see,
Ripper.
like I was suspected of being Jack the Ripper, but in
You're actually-
reality, I'm the Zodiac
Oh,
Killer.
okay.
That's
Everything is
why.
separate now.
That's why I haven't been caught because I am a little fucking girl, and I'm also white.
so
So
was the Zodiac Killer.
exactly.
Every time.
But
I
like,
What do you mean exactly?
because,
They're both white.
because white girls have privileges.
So do white men.
Frankie, I would also like to make a confession. You have 3 special guests.
Okay, what are you?
I am the Babadook.
Oh, my boy, the Babadook. So, but there are 3 suspected attacks
Okay.
that haven't been confirmed. So the first one,
Yeah, it's true.
Robert Domingos and Linda Edwards were shot and killed on June 4th, 1963.
Okay.
They were identified as possible Zodiac victims because of similarities between their attack and the Zodiac's attack at Lake Berryessa, but it hasn't been confirmed.
Yeah.
This was all in California, right?
This is all in the San Francisco area.
Thought so. Damn, San Francisco, you scary.
Yeah.
Then you have Cherry Bates, who was stabbed to death.
Bates.
I said Bates.
Are you sure?
I'm pretty sure I said Bates. She was stabbed to death and nearly decapitated October 30th, 1966.
Now that's how you do it.
At
like
Riverside
killing
City
her best.
College. Her possible connection to the Zodiac only appeared 4 years later after her murder, when San Francisco Chronicle reporter Paul Avery received a tip regarding similarities between the Zodiac killings and the circumstances around Bates's death. The final suspected attack is Donna Lass. She was last seen September 6, 1970 in Nevada. A postcard with an advertisement from Forest Pines condominiums near Lake Tahoe was pasted on the back, was received at the Chronicle on March 22nd, 1971.
The Chronicle is a newspaper.
It is
by
a
the way.
newspaper, thank you. And it was interpreted as the Zodiac claiming Lass's disappearance as a victim. No evidence has been uncovered, though, to connect her disappearance with the Zodiac Killer definitively.
Then it's
Now.
not true, obviously.
There's also a third suspected escapee from the Zodiac Killer, because as we mentioned...
is this with the baby?
Is it the one with the baby?
Yeah,
It's the
so
baby.
Kathleen
That's
John
me.
was allegedly... You were the baby! Ellen was the baby!
I was her mom. I'm Kathleen John.
So Kathleen
But I'm older
John
than you.
was abducted on March 22nd, 1970.
Okay, Zodiac.
On
had
Highway
this in the movie.
132 near I-580 in an area west of Modesto. Apparently, she escaped from the car of a man who drove her and her infant daughter around the area between Stockton and Patterson for approximately 1.5 hours. So they were just driving around for an hour and a half, and then she's like, fuck this, and got out.
You woke the baby!
I hate both of you so much. Jenna, so what do you think about all these attacks?
I don't know.
Hey, we're here too.
Yeah, y'all been talking up a storm. Jenna hasn't said much.
Jenna only brings the microphone. We've been through this.
Yeah.
She made the Snapchat.
Yeah.
Now we're going to go into the actual timeline of events.
Wait, you didn't let Jenna actually say
Well, because I was interrupted by a nipple attack. I was caught off guard.
How do you
Jenna-
think I feel, man? My nipples get attacked by everything. Walls, doors, bears.
Bears.
Why would the bear
the
attack
Zodiac
me?
Killer.
The Zodiac Killer. Ellen, why are you attacking her nipples?
I didn't.
Jenna-
Yet.
Jenna, what would you like to say on all this?
I like murder.
Okay.
Same.
See, this is why we don't let you talk. Jenna.
This is why you bring the microphone, and that's it.
So now we're going to do some more details about all the attacks, and we're going to do a definitive timeline
Oh, I like
of what people
timelines.
have. So the first attack, confirmed by the Zodiac Killer, Lake Herman Road. The shooting of high school students Betty Lou Jensen and David Faraday.
Betty Lou!
December 20th, 1968. So they were on their first date,
Aw, that's so sad.
planning to attend a Christmas concert at Hogan High School.
He was trying to get
Instead-
the
Hulk Hogan High School?
Yeah, Hulk Hogan High School.
Okay.
It was actually like just a wrestling
It was Brooke. It's Brooke Hogan's high school.
So they teach you how to make shitty music.
Yes.
Yes.
And shitty reality shows.
Okay.
I like that reality show. No, I'm fucking with you. No,
I actually watched the one season when they were in Miami because it had the gay best friend.
The gay best friend.
Yeah,
He was attractive.
Me. It was Jenna.
he was pretty attractive.
He was attractive.
So, it's their first date. They didn't go to Hogan High School, though.
Didn't they go to the meetup point?
Instead, they visited a friend
No.
before stopping at a local restaurant and driving out to Lake Herman Road.
Okay.
At about 10:15, they parked on a well-known lover's lane.
Mount Hump, I told you. Fuck yeah. I called it. I was there.
Okay. Shortly after 11 p.m., their bodies were found by Stella Borges.
Oh, gorgeous. Was she gorgeous?
No.
That's
So-
why her name was
She
Stella.
was ugly.
That's why her name was a Borges, because she was
Did you
not
just say AF
gorgeous.
instead of AF?
Yes.
So
I'm a basic white girl.
You are.
She is. She's drinking Starbucks
She is
right
drinking-
now.
And eating
It
some
was
Reese's.
a vanilla latte too.
Oh, what? No pumpkin spice?
Mine was
She was
pumpkin
pumpkin
spice.
So Ellen's more of a basic white girl.
What
I
am
couldn't remember the other
What
one.
does that make me?
Do you have pumpkin spice? Then you're not a basic white girl.
I mean,
You're a basic Jap girl.
It makes
in case y'all are wondering, I'm not Asian looking at all.
Exactly. That's what makes it funnier.
So,
No one?
the
Okay.
no one. No, it's not funny. Racism is never funny.
I know it's
I think it's quite funny. That's why I made the black penis joke.
no place for hate.
There's no place for hate unless it's towards the Zodiac Killer.
Fuck you, Ellen.
I'm sensitive.
That's why she kills people.
Yeah.
Well,
They made fun of her hoop skirt.
in the movie Zodiac, it was because the Zodiac Killer was calling. It was like, I have headaches. That's why I'm killing. I have headaches.
Stupid reason.
Did you have lots of headaches?
Yeah.
Well, that's fucking why.
Yeah, from
I give her a
fucking
lot of
Bob
headaches.
Reed.
I do have headaches from him.
I give her a lot of headaches too. Just
Yeah.
by being
You give
annoying.
me headaches.
I give everyone headaches.
Now, the rest of this timeline, I'm very
Okay,
curious.
so-
I know what's
Cops have no leads at this point.
Of course they
So,
don't.
Yeah,
Robert
the
Gray
first
Smith.
fucking killer.
Robert Graysmith, he comes up with this theory. So another car pulls in prior to 11,
Okay.
parks beside the couple,
Oh,
exits the killer exits the second car, walks towards their car, and orders the couple out.
oh,
Jensen leaves the car first,
why?
but when Faraday was halfway out of the car, the killer shot him in the head.
Yeah.
Yeah, great.
Fleeing from the killer, Jensen was gunned down 28 feet from the car with 5 shots through the back.
I'd like to point out that Ellen is over here, like, shaking her head, like, yeah, I did that. I did that.
That's how it happened.
The killer then drove away.
All right.
So that's
Ellen
what their
innocent.
theory is. They have a theory of how they died, but they have no idea who the fuck did it.
I
Okay.
just learned to walk.
So then we move to Blue Rock Springs.
With Maju.
Just before midnight on July 4th, 1969, Darlene Farron and Michael Maju drove into the Blue Rock Springs Park in Vallejo, 4 miles.
We don't have the copyright.
We don't have the copyright, Amanda. We're gonna get sued. We're gonna get struck.
Dolly Parton, please don't sue us.
She's not.
We like your
listening.
tits.
There it is.
All right.
Well, there's
I
So they parked in Vallejo, 4 miles from the Lake Herman Road murder site. So while they sat in Farron's car, a second car drove into the lot and parked alongside them, but immediately left.
Okay.
He then returned about 10 minutes later, parking behind them. The driver then exited the vehicle, approaching the passenger side door, carrying a flashlight and a 9mm Luger.
Well,
The
why
killer
flashlight?
directed the flashlight into their eyes before shooting at them, firing 5 times.
Like a solar flare.
Both
Is that
victims were
copyrighted?
hit.
Yeah.
Or maybe thinking, like, that it was a cop.
Yeah, both victims were hit,
Yeah.
and several bullets passed through Maju into Farron. The killer walked away from the car, but upon hearing Maju's moaning, returned and shot each victim twice more
Watch
before
it not
driving off.
actually be pronounced Maju.
Well, he's dead, so.
Is
That's
he?
not an excuse.
But what if his family's like, that's not how you say it?
Well, then they'll contact
The
us and
family
they'll
of the
send us
family of
a way
the
to say
the
it.
Or
Maju
they'll
family,
sue
please
us.
tell us.
Or they'll sue for saying the name wrong.
Yes.
Okay.
They'll sue us for all the money that we don't
But
make.
wait, we're not done.
I make money.
We're not done though.
I work at Hooters.
For real?
Yeah, I made $3,000 this summer. I
On-
have big tits.
I don't believe you.
Dead serious.
Are you serious?
Yeah,
Wait,
I
which
can
part
show
do you
you.
don't believe? The Hooters or the big tits?
No, well, I can see.
Yeah.
But
They're
like,
down to my belly button right now because I don't have a bra on. Not that y'all needed to know that.
mine aren't down to my belly button.
Mine are down to my balls.
On July 5th, 1969, at 12:40 a.m., a man called the police to report and claim responsibility for the attack.
Okay.
The caller also took credit for the murders of Jensen and Faraday 6.5 months earlier.
Worst 4th of July ever.
The police traced the call to a phone booth at a gas
I
station.
bet you he was wearing an Old Navy shirt that had a flag on it.
I didn't have Old Navy back then.
You don't know that. The Navy's old. It was probably just called Navy.
It was called New Navy.
New Navy. It sounds old.
Neo Navy.
There it
And
is.
so they traced it to a gas station about 0.3 of a mile from Farron's home and only a few blocks away from the police department. Farron was pronounced dead at the hospital, and Maju survived the attack despite being shot in the face, neck, and chest.
That is
Yeah.
one
That's pretty-
person who doesn't want to die.
That's fucking badass.
It is badass.
Not as badass as that
Fucking
mom
hated him.
who took a fucking crowbar, or no, it was an axe to the head and popped out a baby.
That's true. Where did we hear that?
That was the New Orleans Axeman.
Oh yeah, the New Orleans Axeman, the pregnant woman who took an axe to the head and then continued to have a baby.
Yeah, that is one awesome mom.
All right, so After he calls the police, what is wrong with you two?
You're looking at the Snapchat.
Okay.
Because you two were on a tangent that we didn't care about.
I know, and you zoomed up on my face, and I'm just like. If you're
You
wondering,
always have a stupid look on your face.
if you're wondering what the fuck we're talking about, follow us on Snapchat.
Yes.
At
S-
Talkin. At Talkin.
STWE crew.
That you won't find this then. It's just
It's
shit talking
shit
without a
talking.
G. All one word, no capital letters.
Yeah.
SHITTALKIN.
Wait.
Shit talking.
Shit.
Shit talking.
All one word.
All one word, no G. No G at the end. It's shit talking. It's in talkin, not talking.
Are you gonna leave all
No,
this?
that-
All right, yeah, this is all staying in. All right, guys,
Plug. That was our plug.
we now have the first letter from the Zodiac Killer.
I love the letters.
So August 1st,
I like them more.
1969. Are we gonna have a fucking letter? You're gonna get to read the letter when I get to it. August 1st, 1969. 3 letters prepared by the killer were sent to the Vallejo Times-Herald, the San Francisco Chronicle, and the San Francisco Examiner.
Not as good as Albert.
The letters were nearly identical, and they took credit for the shootings at Lake Herman Road and Blue Rock Springs. Each letter also included 1/3 of a 408 symbol cryptogram, which the killer claimed contained his identity. The killer demanded they be printed on each paper's front page, or he would, and I quote,
Do the job.
cruise around all weekend, killing lone people in the night, then move on to kill again until I end up with a dozen people over the weekend. Now, I would like to point out, cruise is spelled incorrectly. It's spelled C-R-U-S-E.
Apparently he was fucking illiterate.
Because the Zodiac Killer can spell almost every word correctly in his letters, except for one.
What if it was
Supposed to be.
Ted Cruz and he was gonna like spell
C-R-U-S.
his last name, but then he was like, oh shit, I can't write that.
Oh, Illuminati confirmed.
But you're the Zodiac Killer. So
Yeah, I know. This was meant to happen. I'm not illiterate. I'm in college.
So the Chronicle did publish the letter, but not on the front page, on the fourth page.
No.
Yep.
An article printed alongside the code quoted Vallejo Police Chief Jack Stilts as saying, "We're not satisfied that the letter was written by the murderer," and he requested a second letter with more facts to prove his identity.
We're not satisfied that the letter was written by the murderer. Like, what the fuck?
Well, people get like fake, like
Yeah, people write
threatening
fake
letters.
Was this
all
the
the
original
time.
fake news?
Yeah,
Yeah.
actually.
So the threatened murders didn't happen. They didn't happen. All 3 parts were eventually published, though. On August 7th, 1969, another letter was received at the San Francisco Examiner.
Yeah.
And with the salutation, "Dear editor, this is the Zodiac speaking." This was the first time the killer used this name for identification. So my first problem with the Zodiac Killer pops up here. He gave himself a nickname. You can't do that. You can't give yourself a nickname.
Yeah, you can.
You can't just give yourself a nickname.
Fuck you! I'll do what I want.
Alan, you're not the Zodiac Killer.
From now on, I would like to be called J-Dog.
No one's calling you Jake.
No, I'm not calling you that.
See, Jenna couldn't give herself a nickname. You can't give yourself. You can't go just walk. I'm the Zodiac.
But
now.
if you're a murderer,
no, you
you can
can't.
do whatever the fuck
I
you
want
want,
you
or
to
you
call me
murder
fucking
people.
Panda from now on.
No.
Here's the problem with
Panda or
Zodiac.
fucking Panda? Okay.
Here's the problem with Zodiac.
I would do that.
Is Zodiac threatening at all? Like Jack the Ripper gave himself a nickname, but he was calling
Jack the
himself.
Ripper never gave himself that
Yeah,
nickname.
he didn't.
Didn't
The
know.
papers gave him that.
Okay,
nickname.
what a badass nickname, the Ripper. I'm the Zodiac. Who's frightened of the Zodiac?
I am.
Well, the star's gonna come at you. What the fuck's this?
Well, Catholics, because we don't believe in like star signs.
So you're scared of it.
That.
She's
so they're
accurate.
non-believers, and we want to smite them.
She is.
So they're scared of you, not the other way around.
But you're.
Was that the Zodiac Killer's biggest weakness? Catholics.
But you're
No.
you're a good Catholic. I'm like the shitty
thanks.
ass Catholic that lost her virginity at like middle school age.
All right, this is a personal.
I'm sorry, what does that have to do with this?
Of shit talking with Ellen.
Yeah,
Catholics.
So
Catholics are fucking weird. I mean,
This is a PSA from Amanda.
okay.
Catholics are fucking
I'm
weird.
still Catholic. Catholic, so I'm fucking weird too.
We do not endorse anything that Amanda is actually
Now,
saying.
this letter, where he gave himself a nickname, was actually the response to the police chief's request for more details
Yes.
Ooh.
in a second
See?
letter. The Zodiac included details about the murders which had not been released to the public, as well as a message to the police that when they cracked his code, they will have me.
Wait, I have to stop for a second. What police chief goes?
Stop being so-
Nope. This isn't. No, that's not the right letter. You need to send more information.
Me.
If that happened today, somebody would be like,
Investigating it, probably.
no,
Well,
like,
What a
yeah,
waste
I don't
of
think they would
resources.
ask for more information.
Yeah, I
I think,
think-
they would just kind of disregard it
Yeah.
until.
Well, today you
they
could draw
get
a
another
penis in a
threat.
bathroom and people immediately think bomb threat.
that is accurate.
Here's the
Yeah.
thing, though. This police chief was like, listen, there's not much to do in Vallejo. Let's ask.
Vallejo.
Let's not ask.
Also, they want to try and catch him, so maybe they thought if he wrote a second letter, they
It
would
would
slip
get-
off.
Right.
No, but he probably rubbed gasoline on the fucking letter to remove the fingerprints. Because
All
of
right.
life hacks.
Okay, thanks. That was last week.
That was last week. Tie-in.
On August 8th, 1969.
Wait, we need to rate that life hack.
0 out of 10 would recommend.
What? No.
Unless you're a
gasoline-
serial killer, 10 out of 10 then.
What level of toast?
Fucking Wonder Bread. Fuck that.
F.
I don't know.
0 out of 10, no death playing the flute. Metropolis, better film. Okay. So on August 8th, 1969, Donald and Betty Harden cracked the 408 symbol cryptogram.
It's true.
They
It
did do it.
They
contained
did crack and
a
then they figured it
misspelled
out.
message. It's a message that's completely misspelled.
Ellen's getting excited.
Yeah.
In which the killer said he was
I don't
collecting
worship it.
slaves for the afterlife. No name appears in the decoded text, and the killer said that he would not give away his identity because it would slow down or stop
So
his
you
slave
fucking
collection.
lied, Ellen.
Yeah.
So
Ellen is not the Zodiac Killer.
we
Take
have
choices.
the
Come on.
actual letter. This is the decoded letter. So Amanda, as our special guest, would you like the honor of reading
Oh my
the
god,
actual
I
letter?
love reading death letters.
So there you go. Starts right there. There you go. Read it.
You're
Oh
welcome.
my god, he actually did spell it wrong.
You spelled like so many words wrong. It's fucking dumb.
Yeah.
All right, go for it.
Alright.
Also, time out. I want you to read the misspellings as they appear. Okay?
Oh, this is gonna be great. You're welcome.
Alright.
Ellen.
I can do this. You guys can't make me laugh.
I will make you laugh. There's no, you can't, just not.
We'll just cover Jenna's face.
I'm
It
gonna
always
cover
makes me
Ellen's
laugh.
face.
Alright.
Ellen.
Are you guys okay?
We're never gonna get this letter read.
I like killing people because it is so much fun. It is more fun than killing wild game in the forest because man is the most dangerous animal.
Okay, so 2 words in a row spelled wrong. Dangeroo spelled danger all the way right, and then OUE.
There was
What? Why'd you forget the S?
You're just missing.
there was drugs involved.
And then animal, ANA, It's not that fucking hard. It's an I.
Because man is the most dangerous animal of all to kill. Something gives me more.
The most.
Oh, yeah, I can read.
Obviously, you can't.
Are you the Zodiac? You're illiterate as well.
I'm sorry, I read Japanese. No, that's a fucking lie. Where was I?
It gives me the most.
Gives me the most thrilling experience. It is even.
No. It doesn't say experience. It says experience. The most thrilling experience. I don't know what an experience is.
It gives me the most thrilling experience. It is even better than getting your rocks off with a girl. That is
Wow.
a lie.
You
Damn.
don't ever murder someone?
Have you ever gotten your rocks off with a
I'm
girl?
Jack the fucking Ripper.
Have you ever gotten your rocks off with a girl?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Is it when you throw rocks at them?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's
And then after hitting them, it
killer.
gets soft.
Obviously, I'm the Zodiac Killer.
It's just another way to say scissoring, but that's back in the olden times.
Is it?
I don't know.
But it was a guy.
Go on.
Guys,
Rocks.
this
Are
is
you sure it was a guy?
Zodiac Killer?
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah.
Fucking Ellen. It's fucking Ellen.
Ellen's shocked. She's
I was
appalled.
a toddler.
Toddlers can't scissor!
They can use scissors.
Yes, I can.
They have safety scissors.
That's like the first thing I learned.
I hate all of you.
You didn't learn how to cut in
I
preschool?
No.
I cut them.
You didn't learn how to cut things in preschool?
No,
With scissors?
no, my mommy did it.
Cut their vaginas.
Oh my god.
Alright, getting your rocks off with a girl. The best part of it is when They with THAE. That is how they spelled the.
They.
I think that's supposed to be that. Is that when I die?
Oh,
but it
is
says,
that-
is they when I die? I don't know.
Is that when I die, I will be reborn in paradise, but dice is spelled like DICE, like Dungeons and Dragons.
He's a big D&D fan. The Zodiac Killer.
And I think that's supposed to be those.
I think it's they.
And they have killed. No, then those have. He can't English.
Okay, this is horribly written. This is the worst. Why would they publish this? This took down, like, the brain cells of everyone involved.
I'm guessing it's those I have killed. Yeah, those I have killed will become my slaves. I will not give you my name because you will try and slow down.
Slow down.
Slow
down.
slow down.
Is that a
Yep.
verb?
Yeah.
Or
Sloy.
atop my collectiog
Collectiog.
of slaves for my afterlife. And then the rest of it is,
14 letters.
yeah, that's 14. Iber.
It's 14 letters of gibberish that either they couldn't decode or it's just fucking gibberish.
Same.
That, I don't,
I think it's just gibberish.
it's
So-
probably like a secret message for him, like that's his actual
It
middle
is.
That's
name.
his middle name. It's Ibrahim 50.
No,
He's
starts with
Egyptian.
It starts with
It's
an E,
code.
so it's fucking Ellen.
It's Ellen!
I told you.
And there's an O, so O'Neill.
I told you.
And there's an M, so Marie. Ellen Marie O'Neill.
Yeah.
Give the listeners your full name.
Yeah.
Okay.
Emo.
Emo! Okay.
That's why
so,
I killed them.
Because you're emo.
Was he the
Yeah.
one who started fucking emo music? Did you start emo music?
Did you
Yeah.
start Evanescence?
Did you
I
fucking
am
start
emo.
My Chemical Romance? Did you break My Chemical Romance up?
No, that was them.
That was them. Okay, so now we move on to
What are you?
what I
Oh, you're
think
good.
I'm
is
ready.
the most famous of the Zodiac killings,
Mm-hmm.
the Lake Berryessa attack.
I don't know.
There's a
So,
lake.
This is September 27th,
Is
1969.
this the one with the white hood?
It is.
Oh.
It is with the hood.
Fuck yeah.
So the Pacific Union College students Brian Hartnell and Cecilia Shepard were picnicking at Lake Berryessa on a small island connected by a sand spit to Twin Oak Ridge.
Did he
A
say-
man approached them wearing a black executioner's hood with clip-on sunglasses.
Oh, it's a black hood.
over
I
the
thought it
eye
was white,
Yeah.
like the KKK.
No, it was a black hood with clip-on sunglasses over the eye holes
We don't endorse the KKK, by the way.
and a bib on his chest that had a white 3x3 cross circle symbol on it.
The sign of the Zodiac.
Yeah. He approached them with a gun, which Hartnell believed to be a .45. The hooded man claimed to be an
Does he just
escaped
know his
convict
guns?
from Deer Lodge, Montana, where he had killed a guard and stolen a car, explaining that he needed their car and money to go to Mexico. He had brought pre-cut lengths of plastic clothesline and told Shepard to tie up Hartnell before he tied her up.
What are you doing?
The killer checked and tied Hartnell's bonds after discovering Shepard had bound Hartnell's hands loosely. Hartnell initially believed it to be a weird robbery, but then the man drew a knife and stabbed them repeatedly.
See, that's where it gets good.
But yeah, gun.
The killer
No,
then, when he
but
stabbed
knives.
them, the killer then hiked 500 yards back to Knoxville Road, drew the cross circle symbol on Hartnell's car with a black felt tip pen, and wrote beneath it Vallejo 12/20/68 7469.
A felt tip pen. Man, that
Felt
guy
tip
was
pen.
a fucking art major.
And then he wrote September 27th 69 6:30 by knife. At 7:40, the killer called the Napa County Sheriff's Office from a payphone to report his latest crime. Timely. He calls the police in a timely fashion.
That's well appreciated.
What a nice, citizen.
Yeah. The phone was found off the hook minutes later by radio reporter Pat Stanley,
Fingerprints.
yet 27 miles from the crime scene.
Fingerprints.
Detectives were able to lift a still wet palm print from the telephone,
Fuck yeah.
but were never able to match it to any suspects.
Motherfucker.
After hearing their screams for help, a man and his son who were fishing in a nearby cove discovered the victims and summoned help by contacting park rangers.
Well, Johnny, I can't
Deputies-
toss you in the fucking river today.
Deputies Dave Collins and Ray Land were the first law enforcement officers to arrive at the crime scene. Cecilia Shepard was conscious when Collins arrived, providing him with a detailed description of the attacker. Both victims were taken to Queen of the Valley Hospital in Napa by ambulance. Shepard lapsed into a coma during transport and never regained consciousness.
Oh, unfortunate.
She died 2 days later.
Not that unfortunate.
But Hartnell survived to recount his tale.
Good job.
Napa County Sheriff Detective Ken Narlow was assigned to the case from the outset and worked on solving the crime until he retired in 1987. So that is probably the most famous of the attacks
Yeah.
because it's so different from the rest of them.
No, I think the most famous has to be the one where the police got the fucking suspect identity wrong. They were like, "We're looking for a black guy."
But I don't
like,
think,
it's a white guy.
I don't think a lot of people know. Like, but I think this one is it's so different. Like, he never stabbed anyone else ever again. He shot his first 3 victims he shot, and then the victim after this he shot.
Maybe he just was on his period.
Yeah.
And he also never wore a hood before this one. He never got all fucking dressed up for the occasion.
Mm-hmm.
Why not?
I don't know.
Why not, Alan?
I was just feeling it. I had somewhere to go after. You know?
A fancy
You gotta
Halloween
shake it
party.
up every
Halloween
once in
party.
a while.
Yeah.
A Halloween party in
I just gotta
September.
do
Switch
it.
it up.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I think that one's just a weird one. That one's the creepiest to me
Yeah.
of the murders.
None of these are creepy. Man.
It's super creepy. Because he's never been caught. He could just appear at any moment.
Who's an alien?
He's probably dead.
He's probably, you don't know.
Or in his
He's
80s.
probably Ted Cruz.
He's probably Ted Cruz.
Yeah, it's Ted Cruz, guys.
He's probably Ellen O'Neill.
Are there any other,
I've
like,
been dormant.
big, major crime?
The final attack.
Okay, let's do this.
Presidio Heights.
That,
Presidio Heights. 2 weeks later,
Okay.
October 11th, 1969.
Is this the cab one?
It is the cat. It's
A
the black
passenger,
guy.
a passenger entered the cab driven by Paul Stein at the intersection of Mason and Geary Streets
Okay.
in San Francisco, requesting to be taken to Washington and Maple Streets. For reasons unknown, Stein drove 1 block past Maple to Cherry Street. The passenger then shot Stein once in the head with a 9mm, took Stein's wallet and car keys, and tore away a section of Stein's blood-stained shirt. All right, what is happening?
Literally every time you say something, Ellen is fucking gasping.
The passenger was observed by 3 teenagers with attitude across the street at 9:55 p.m. who called the police while the crime was in progress. They observed a man wiping the cab down before walking away. 2 blocks from the crime scene, Officer Don Fook responded to the call
I pity the fool.
and observed a white man walking along the sidewalk and stepping onto a stairway leading up to the front yard of one of the homes on the north side of the street.
But they were looking
The
for a
encounter-
black man.
The encounter lasted only 5 to 10 seconds. But Amanda's right. The radio dispatcher had alerted to be on the lookout for a black suspect, so they drove past him without stopping.
God damn it, San Francisco.
The mix-up
police.
remains unexplained to this day. Racism. Probably the likely
Yeah,
case. It's
I'm-
the 60s.
It's a problem.
Yeah.
It's the height of Jim Crow.
This was
What if-
before Hairspray.
What
Like,
if the person who said that they were looking for a black guy was a Zodiac Killer?
How did they get there that
Yeah,
fast?
that's a good point.
They're great.
They're fucking
What if
great.
it was like? What if they like double teaming it?
what if
What
a
does it
police
mean?
officer was a Zodiac Killer?
That would be amazing.
But we'll get to the suspects. Maybe there's a police officer there. There's not.
Okay, that deserves a gas.
There's
round.
not, but...
There we go.
So a search ensued, but no possible suspects were found. The 3 teen witnesses worked with police artists to prepare a composite sketch of Stein's killer. The police artists returned a few days later, working with the witnesses to prepare a second composite sketch. And that's the famous sketch of the Zodiac Killer, the guy with the glasses and the crew cut.
Ted Cruz?
Detectives Bill Armstrong and Dave Toshi were assigned to the case, and they investigated an estimated 2,500 suspects over a period of years. So that's a big suspect pool. Narrow it down a little bit,
Yeah.
guys. Don't start with 2,500. Start with like 5. So he's been busy killing. He decides it's time to call somebody. Not call. Write a letter. He's a big fan of letters.
Yeah.
Is
Ian?
he gonna call Ghostbusters?
Yes, call him.
Yes.
Well, they're in New York, so no.
I can't, we're not copyrighted.
God damn it, Ian!
I did not do the rest. I only did the first part. That's not
God.
copyright.
This episode's gonna get taken down.
You have to do 15 seconds of it, and
You have
then
to do 7 seconds of it.
that was not 7 seconds.
Money.
That was 3 seconds.
What money?
That was only 3 seconds.
We
sir.
get no money.
Well, now we're never gonna.
October 14th, 1969.
In the summer of 69.
It is fall, man.
Oh my god! All these. Oh my god. Copyright strikes, porn strikes, everything's going
What
on.
porn strike?
Porn
From our
strikes.
trailer.
I was like, is there actual porn strikes? 'Cause
No.
That's gonna mess up my weekend plan.
Trailer.
Wait, confirmed. Zodiac Killer directed right in front of my salad.
Oh my god.
Right in front of my salad. Really?
The Chronicle received another letter from the Zodiac, this time containing a swatch of Paul Stein's shirt tail as proof he was the killer. It also included a threat about killing school children on a school bus.
All children deserve.
The Zodiac wrote he would just shoot out the front tire and then pick off the kitties as they come bouncing out.
Yep.
At 2 p.m., October 20th, 1969, someone claiming to be the Zodiac called the Oakland Police Department, claiming or demanding that one of two prominent lawyers, F. Lee Bailey or Melvin Bell, appear on the local television show AM San Francisco.
Yeah.
Bailey was not available. He's a big fan of morning talk shows then, apparently.
He's an old
He would
person.
love The View.
What do you think so?
Possibly.
Not The View. I think he.
Oprah.
I think he would have liked
Ellen. I think we liked Ellen DeGeneres.
Yeah.
Full of energy.
Did you like Ellen?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Bailey-
She has the same name.
Bailey wasn't available. But Bell did appear.
Good job, Belle.
And
Drake Bell? Is
Dunbar
that Drake Bell's daddy? Or
appealed
mommy?
to the viewers to keep the lines open and not call. Someone claiming to be the Zodiac called several times and said that his name was Sam.
That's some bullshit. If I've ever heard bullshit.
They agreed to meet him in Daly City, but he never showed up.
Yeah.
Because why would he? Why the fuck would a guy call and say, I'm not showing up?
Right.
What is it?
On November 8th, 1969,
Uh-huh.
the Zodiac mailed a card with another cryptogram consisting of 340 characters.
Yum.
This has never been deciphered.
That's more that can be on Twitter.
I know.
It is more than Twitter. Twitter wasn't around though. Do you think if Twitter was around, he would have only done 140 characters?
If he was on,
He would've figured
if
it
Twitter was around, he'd be like Donald Trump and
Just
just
be tweeting randomly.
tweeting all the time.
Okay.
Confirmed, Donald Trump is the Zodiac Killer.
No, because he's too distinctively orange. People would know.
Yeah, that's good. He's got a point.
Okay, but he had.
Orange.
And he's too racist, man. The Zodiac Killer wasn't that.
The Zodiac Killer only killed white people.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Donald
racist.
Trump would
That's
never kill
racist.
white people.
That's racist.
On November 9th, the Zodiac mailed a 7-page letter stating that two policemen stopped and actually spoke with him 3 minutes after he shot Stein.
So it was him. Yeah.
Excerpts from the letter were published in the Chronicle on November 12th, including the Zodiac's claim. That same day, Officer Don Fook wrote a memo explaining what had happened the night of Stein's murder.
What's that?
Now, on December 20th, 1969, 1 year after the murders of David Faraday and Betty Lou Jensen,
Oh no.
Uh-huh.
the Zodiac mailed a letter to Bell that included another swatch of Stein's shirt, and the Zodiac said he wanted Bell to help him.
Oh. Ooh. Ooh.
Now, I don't know what he means by that. Did he want, like, a teammate to help him kill, or, like, help
Okay,
him
so in the
stop
movie
it?
Zodiac.
Okay,
So
give
in
us
the
a film
movie.
review. Go on.
Well,
What happens in the scene?
so in the movie, like, okay, so on the TV show, he's like, I have headaches. And so he was like, Bell. In the movie, his name's Belly for
I
whatever
think it is
reason.
Belly, and I just said Bell, and I kept going with it.
Yeah,
so
I
you
think
know.
it's Belly.
Didn't want to correct myself.
Belli.
We're gonna call him
And
Bell.
on the morning show, he was like, I have headaches, and he was like, Bella was like, well, maybe we can help you in some way, and he was like, okay, and then so that's probably why he sent a letter.
Sounds like fucking Eeyore. Okay.
What if the Zodiac Killer was like
I
Eeyore?
guess they forgot me.
He probably
again.
was.
I guess I'll go and kill again.
Probably.
So-
Wait, that's the elephant from Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. The spotted elephant. He's my favorite. They forgot us again.
So then we have Modesto.
Okay.
Now this isn't confirmed. We talked about it a little bit earlier.
Oh, right,
This is
the
the one that's not
non-confirmed
confirmed. So, March 22nd, 1970, Kathleen Johns was driving from San Bernardino
With
to
her baby.
Petaluma to visit her mother. She was 7 months pregnant and had her 10-month-old daughter beside her.
Oh man, she was pregnant, man?
Yeah.
A child.
While heading west on Highway 132, a car behind her began honking its horn and flashing its headlights. She pulled off the road and stopped. The man in the car parked behind her, approached her car, stated that he observed that her right rear wheel was wobbling, and offered to tighten the lug nuts. After finishing the work, the man drove off. Yet when Johns pulled forward to re-enter the highway, the wheel almost immediately came off the car. The man returned, offering to drive her to the nearest gas station for help.
Why would you do that?
She and her daughter climbed into his car.
You're dumb.
During the ride, the car passed several service stations, but the man did not stop.
You're dumb.
For about 90 minutes, he drove back and forth around the back roads near Tracy. When Johns asked why he was not stopping, he would change the subject. When the driver finally stopped at an intersection, Johns jumped out with her daughter and hid in a field.
Do a barrel roll.
The driver searched for her using his flashlight, telling her that he would not hurt her, before eventually giving up. Unable to find her, he got back into the car and drove off. Johns then hitched a ride to the police station in Patterson. She gave her statement to the sergeant on duty, and while doing so, she noticed the police composite sketch of Paul Stine's killer and recognized him as the man who abducted her and her child. Fearing he might come back and kill them all, the sergeant had Johns wait in the dark at the nearby Mills restaurant. When her car was found, it had been gutted and torched. Most accounts say he threatened to kill her and her daughter while driving them around, but at least one police report disputes that. John's account to Paul Avery of the Chronicle indicates her abductor left his car and searched for her in the dark with a flashlight. However, in one report she made to the police, she stated he did not leave the vehicle at all. So that's why a lot of people can't confirm what happened, because there's multiple police reports of what was happening.
Because she's a fucking bitch.
But it was in the movie Zodiac, so.
Oh my god.
That doesn't mean
Jake Gyllenhaal wasn't there, Ian!
Fuck you. Yeah, he was. He was a little sperm in somebody's ball sack.
Jenna, how do you feel about the movie
And the
Zodiac?
ladies.
I don't know. I've
And the
never seen it,
ladies.
but I don't fucking care about it.
Oh my god, that
That's
lady
the only opinion
was
you've
his
had
mom.
during this whole
Yeah.
fucking episode,
And
Jenna.
You
mine.
want to know another opinion? Fuck you.
So, after this supposed event, he decides he's going to set more letters. More letters. The cops just drove by, so they're coming to get us for talking about serial
They're coming to get Ellen.
for being the Zodiac Killer.
I've been found.
So,
They know where I live.
after this, the Zodiac sent more communications.
Oh no.
He continued to communicate with authorities for the remainder of 1970 via letters and greeting cards. I like, you know what? Greeting cards. It's a nice change of
I like
pace.
this greeting card every once in a while.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I figured.
So in a letter postmarked
Thinking
April
of you?
20th, you think that's what he said? He just said thinking of you and he said it.
Yeah. Hoping you're okay.
Well, in the movie Zodiac.
In the movie Zodiac, it was a Halloween card.
I hope your
You know
fucking
what, Ian?
stab wound is okay.
Ian,
Like,
you know who you sound like?
not.
Do you know who you sound like right now, Ian? You sound like that bitch from the Magic School Bus who goes, "When I did my research
It's true.
in the movie Zodiac." Okay.
If you say in the movie Zodiac one more time, I'm gonna throw my shoe at you.
Okay.
Okay, so
In the Zodiac movie.
I didn't say it. It was Ellen.
in a letter postmarked April 20th, 1970, the Zodiac wrote, "My name
420.
is blank," followed by a 13-character cipher. The Zodiac then went on to state that he was not responsible for the recent bombing of a police station in San Francisco.
Well, that's not fun.
So here's the thing. Why put that in there? He's just like, by the way, didn't do this, guys. Wasn't me. Don't blame me.
He just wants to be blamed for
did they
something.
think it was him though?
Yes.
Were they like going around? You know who it might have been?
It's probably that Zodiac.
The Zodiac.
Yeah.
And then he's like, listen, guys, wasn't me.
No.
It wasn't me.
I killed a lot of people.
No.
Wasn't
But
me.
not that.
Not me.
No, those bombs I was making in my fucking garage because I'm Arthur Lee Allen.
But
That was fucking for the kiddies.
oh my
It
god.
was.
But he did add in the
buses.
letter. He did say in the letter that there was more glory to killing a cop than a Sid.
True.
I don't know what the fuck a Sid is.
A
Citizen.
citizen.
Okay, maybe. Because a cop could shoot back.
Oh, that's true.
The letter included a diagram of a bomb the Zodiac claimed he would use to blow up a school bus.
See, for the kiddies.
Yep.
And at the bottom, he kept a score.
Good.
Zodiac 10.
Yep.
SFPD 0.
Wait, okay,
Yeah.
since it was a school bus, can we imagine like a
Magic school
the
bus.
magic school bus? Miss Frizzle goes to find the Zodiac Killer.
Let's write it.
I'm down.
Let's animate that shit.
Send it.
Oh my
in.
god.
Send
No!
it to Netflix because aren't they making?
They're
Yeah.
making the new Magic School Bus, yeah.
Kate McKinnon, Kate McKinnon, if you're listening, do it. Do it.
Do it now.
The Magic School Bus investigates the Zodiac Killer.
It'll be like BuzzFeed Unsolved, only with the magic.
And
Yeah.
Ted Cruz will be a special guest.
Yes.
Zodiac then sent a greeting card postmarked April 28th, 1970
What
to the
was
Chronicle.
greeting card said?
Written on the card was,
Speaking of you,
"I hope you enjoy yourselves
Oh.
when I have my blast. Blast, all capitals, by the way.
Jimmy Neutron confirmed.
Got a blast.
On the back of the card, the Zodiac threatened to use the bus bomb soon unless the newspaper published the full details he wrote. He also wanted to start seeing people wear some nice Zodiac buttons.
I knew it.
Get some
Yeah.
merch.
He's a fucking...
Cute little symbol.
He's
you
a
know?
fucking sellout. The Zodiac Killer is a sellout.
I'd be a sellout too if I am a murderer. I'm Jack the Ripper.
In a letter postmarked June 26, 1970, the Zodiac stated he was upset that he didn't see people wearing any Zodiac buttons.
I'd be upset too.
I was.
He wrote, I shot a man sitting in a parked car with a .38, possibly referring to the murder of St. Richard Ratatek a week earlier. At 5:25 a.m., Ratatek was running a parking ticket in his squad car when an assailant shot him in the head with a .38 caliber pistol. He died 15 hours later.
He's probably
However, SFPD officially denies the Zodiac was involved, but it does remain unsolved.
You know, I bet you with all these letters and greeting cards he's writing, he's got like a nice little ass fountain pen.
He had used a typewriter.
Oh, well, that's not as fun. Well,
Included with the letter was a Phillips 66 road map of San Francisco Bay Area. On the image of Mount Diablo, the Zodiac had drawn a cross circle similar to the ones he used in previous correspondence. At the top of the cross circle, he placed a 0, and then a 3, 6, and a 9. The accompanying
3, 6.
instruction stated that the 0 was to be set to magnetic north. The letter also included a 32-letter cipher that the killer claimed would, in conjunction with the code, lead to the location of a bomb he had buried and set to go off in the fall.
so 369 is Little John.
Little John is the Zodiac Killer.
The cipher was never decoded,
Yeah.
and the bomb was never located. The killer signed the note with another scoreboard, 12
Okay.
to nothing. He's racking up the scores. In a letter to the Chronicle postmarked July 24th, 1970, the Zodiac took credit for Kathleen John's abduction. And in a July 26th letter, he paraphrased a song from the Mikado, adding his own lyrics about making a little list of the ways he planned to torture his slaves in paradise.
Oh, I know the Mikado.
Paradise also spelled
With a C again.
with a C.
Also, new score, 13-0.
Oh, dice.
A final note on the bottom of the letter stated, P.S. The Mount Diablo code concerns radians plus number of inches along the radians. In
Is that some math
1981,
that I don't understand.
a close examination of the hint by Zodiac researcher Gareth Penn led to the discovery that a radian angle, when placed over the map per Zodiac's instructions, pointed to the locations of 2 Zodiac attacks. On October 7th, the Chronicle received a 3x5-inch card signed by the Zodiac with his symbol and a small cross reportedly drawn with blood. The card's message was formed by pasting words and letters from an edition of the Chronicle, and 13 holes were punched across the card. And inspectors agreed that it was highly probable the card came from the Zodiac. He then sent a letter to Paul Avery, a Chronicle reporter. It was a Halloween card,
Oh, that's cute.
signed with the letter Z and the Zodiac's cross circle symbol.
That's
Handwritten on the card was the note, "Peekaboo, you are doomed."
That's so cute, Ellen. That was adorable.
I know.
I want to say the thing.
Say it.
But
Say
you
it.
just go first.
Say it! Do it.
In the Zodiac movie. Fuck you.
In the movie Zodiac.
Say in the Zodiac film.
In the movie that shall not be named, that's what happened to Robert Downey Jr. So yeah, I was right.
The threat was taken
Also, I would like to
seriously.
mention that all the notes in the movie were handwritten.
Ooh, that's
So
fine.
it was a fucking fountain pen.
But I actually used a typewriter for some of them, so
No,
it's a fucking lie.
Wrong.
So
Do not endorse.
soon after receiving this letter, Avery received an anonymous letter alerting him to the similarities between Zodiac's activities and the unsolved murder of Cherry Joe Bates,
Oh, Cherry.
which had occurred 4 years earlier at City College in Riverside.
I think that's pronounced Sherry, not Cherry.
Sherry? You want to say Sherry? We're going to go with Sherry now.
I'm not entirely sure. Cheri. Is that?
That's Sherry.
Sherry.
That's Sherry.
Yeah, come on.
Okay. So we're not going to go into details because it doesn't really fit into the timeline.
Okay.
But we will talk about what happened with Avery. So 5 months after Avery linked the Zodiac to the Riverside murder, the Zodiac mailed a letter to the Los Angeles Times. He credited the police for discovering his Riverside activity.
No, way to go.
But they are only finding the easy ones. There are a hell of a lot more down there. And the connection between Riverside and the Zodiac remains uncertain. Paul Avery And the Riverside Police Department maintained that the Bates homicide was not committed by the Zodiac, but did concede some of the Bates letters may have been his work to claim credit falsely.
What if the Zodiac is part of it?
Like, what do you mean?
Like it, the clown.
Tim Curry is the Zodiac Killer.
It couldn't work because
You just
it is in Maine.
Could you just imagine like one of like the victims
East Coast, West Coast.
looking like down in the dark alley and be like, is that fucking Tim Curry?
Well,
I would run to. I wouldn't care if I was murdered.
You'd
by
run
Tim
to
Curry.
him?
Yes.
yeah,
What if it was David
he's
I love
sexy.
Tim Curry. He's great.
What if it was David Tennant?
Oh, I would absolutely be murdered by him.
She loves David Tennant.
I'd be murdered by David Tennant too. No shame.
So then we have the claim of the Zodiac saying that he kidnapped Donna Lass. This letter was made from a collage of advertisements and magazine lettering. It featured a scene from an advertisement for Forest Pines condominium and the text Sierra Club, sought victim 12, peek through the pines, past Lake Tahoe areas, and around in the snow.
Oh, it was snowing that day?
In the mountains, probably.
Near a mountain.
They did excavate the site at the Sierra Club property, but they only found a pair of sunglasses, and no evidence has been uncovered to connect the disappearance with the Zodiac Killer.
Oh no.
So, November 13th, 1972, Bill Baker postulated that the murders of a young couple in northern Santa Barbara might have been the work of the Zodiac Killer. The killer shot them repeatedly in the back and chest with a .22 caliber weapon. The killer then placed their bodies in a small shack and then unsuccessfully tried to burn the structure to the ground.
How unfortunate.
I don't know how you fail to burn down a wooden
Yeah,
shack.
really.
Wood literally is just meant to burn.
Maybe it was wet that day.
Oh, maybe.
What wood
we don't
doesn't
know.
burn that
Maybe it
well?
was the Love Shack by the
Now-
B-52s.
We come to the
Shut.
copyright. Oh my god. The final confirmed Zodiac letter.
Nope.
And also my favorite Zodiac letter.
It's not as good
Of course,
as
it's the
Robert
last
Fish's.
one.
So after the Pines card, the Zodiac was silent for 3 years.
That's a long time.
The Chronicle then received a letter from the Zodiac, postmarked January 29th, 1974. It included a snippet of verse from the Mikado, an unusual symbol at the bottom that has remained unexplained. Zodiac concluded the letter with his final score, Me 37, SFPD 0. That's not what makes it my favorite letter from the Zodiac. So the Zodiac, he's been gone for 3 years, right? He hasn't done anything for 3
Oh,
years.
is this the movie?
And he
review?
felt the need in this letter to praise The Exorcist as the best satirical comedy that he had ever seen.
True.
So,
It is pretty funny.
I can't, this man felt the need to be like, you know what? We haven't talked in 3 years. A lot's been happening.
I saw a really great movie.
Let me give him a movie review
Fucking
before I get into the murder stuff. Because, you
fucking
know,
Ebert.
it's a good movie. I think everyone should appreciate it. Maybe if I give my stamp of approval, more people will see it.
I don't think that's how it works.
The Zodiac.
Yeah, Ellen, why'd you?
I was talking about the Zodiac doing it, not me.
Yeah, Ellen,
Fucking
why'd
hell.
you put your little Yelp review?
Yeah, this is like the first Yelp review.
Why'd you put your little Yelp review on your letter?
But it's so confusing.
It was relevant.
So, throughout the years, there were numerous letters sent to different newspapers, mostly the Chronicle, but none of them have been definitively proven to be from the Zodiac Killer.
That's fine.
So then we come to the suspects. Now, there are three suspects we're going to talk about.
Arthur Lee Allen.
First suspect is Arthur Lee
Allen.
Allen. So, the book Zodiac, which inspired the film Zodiac, advanced that Arthur Lee Allen was a potential suspect based on circumstantial evidence.
Did you literally just take Jennifer?
She tried to hit me with a shoe, so now I have a shoe. Allen had been interviewed by police from the early days of the Zodiac investigations and was the suspect of several search warrants over a 20-year period.
He also had bombs in his house, by the way.
On October 6, 1969, Allen was interviewed by Detective John Lynch. Allen had been reported in the vicinity of the Lake Berryessa attack against Hartnell and Shepard. He described himself scuba diving at Salt Point on the day of the attacks. Allen again came to police attention in 1971 when his friend Donald Cheney reported to police that Alan had
It's between Donald Trump and Dick Cheney. It's a fusion of the two.
Alan had
Their
spoken
son.
of his desire to kill people,
Yeah.
used the name Zodiac to describe himself,
Yeah.
and secure a flashlight to a firearm for visibility at night.
That's okay.
According to Cheney, the conversation occurred no later than January 1st, 1969. Subsequently, they wrote that they found that Allen had received an other than honorable discharge. So dishonorable discharge. What the fuck other than honorable? There's like two options. Honorable or dishonorable.
Kind of
from the U.S.
honorable.
Navy in 1958.
Slightly honorable.
And had been fired. Now this is my allegation, so maybe they didn't prove anything. But had been fired as an elementary school teacher in March of 1968 after allegations of sexual misconduct with students.
You
was-
know what's worse than this though?
A child.
child.
Yeah.
He was generally well regarded by those who knew him, but is also described as fixated on young children, angry at women, and apparently never had a girlfriend or wife.
No wonder.
You
In
okay?
September of 1972, San Francisco police obtained a search warrant for his residence. And then in 1974, Allen was arrested
Bombs.
for committing lewd sex acts upon a 12-year-old boy. He pleaded guilty and served 2 years. They served another search warrant at Allen's residence in 1991.
They found a bomb.
And 2 days after Allen's death, the police served another warrant and seized property from Allen's residence.
Bomb.
They found that a letter sent to the Riverside Police Department from Bates's killer was typed with a Royal typewriter with an Elite type, the same brand found during the search of Allen's residence. He also owned and wore a Zodiac brand wristwatch. He lived in Vallejo and worked minutes away from one of the first victims lived, and where one of the killings took place. In 2002,
They didn't find bombs.
the SFPD developed a partial DNA profile from the saliva on the stamps and envelopes of Zodiac's letters. They compared this partial DNA to the DNA of Arthur Allen. A DNA comparison was also made with the DNA of Don Cheney, who is Allen's former close friend and the first person to suggest Allen was the Zodiac Killer. Neither test result indicated a match. Allen and Cheney were excluded as the contributors of the DNA, though it cannot be stated definitively that it is DNA from the Zodiac on the envelopes.
Yeah, because didn't he get them to like other people's?
There are quotes that
other
he
people
said.
lick his
Yeah.
little envelopes.
There are quotes saying that Arthur Lee Allen would say he never licked his own envelopes or stamps because the glue made him sick.
True.
I mean, it tastes bad.
I love the taste of it actually. I think it's
Fucking
funny.
weird, Jenna.
I would just get all of my food.
You're worse
from
than fucking Ellen.
envelopes.
And she's killed
So
people.
two more.
Psychopath.
Two more. The next most important suspect to me is Ted Kaczynski. Now, Ted Kaczynski is known as the Unabomber and was arrested for
Is it
being
because
the
he had a
Unabomber.
unibrow?
No.
No,
Yes.
he's the Unabomber.
Now, he was also considered a suspect in the Zodiac killings due to his interest in ciphers and his penchant for engaging with authorities, media outlets, and victims of his crimes in the forms of letters. So they suspected that he was the he was the Zodiac Killer, but there's really little evidence to support that he was the Zodiac Killer.
So you can't connect them other than you.
He was
want to.
interested in coding and knowledge of bomb making equipment are two of the main reasons people look at him, but he is never linked through DNA, fingerprinting, or handwriting analysis. Plus, he was living in Illinois during key parts of the timeline.
That's
Yeah.
like saying ghosts exist.
He doesn't.
Bennett.
Because
He doesn't make the cut.
yeah.
Ghosts exist.
He has been cleared by suspect by most people, including the FBI and San Francisco Police Department. The final suspect we're going to talk about is a joke suspect.
It's my favorite. It's my
We're-
favorite.
We're going to talk about Ted Cruz.
Yay!
So,
He is
During-
the Zodiac Killer.
2016, during the presidential election,
God damn it.
it came up
There
that,
was Frankie. Come on. There was no election in 2016. We all know that.
that
Come
Ted
on.
Cruz was the Zodiac Killer.
It's the truth.
Now, the reason people believe Ted Cruz was the Zodiac Killer remains a mystery. No, it doesn't. Someone in Texas.
Why not?
Of course,
Made
it
a
was
shirt.
fucking Texas.
Well, they're underwater right now, so.
Well, no, they're not. It's
Too
it's gone away.
soon.
So, on March 14th, it actually starts in 2013.
Well,
Alert, Ted Cruz, there's a tweet from @RedPillAmerica. Alert! Ted Cruz is speaking. His speech is titled, "This is the Zodiac Speaking." On November 10th, 2014, at Flash2844,
Wait.
tweeted that Ted Cruz's chilling deathbed confession, "I am the Zodiac Killer." Hashtag Ted Cruz is the Zodiac Killer.
Wait. Did he really have a conference saying this is the Zodiac?
No.
No, it was a joke.
I
On
wish.
December 15th, 2015, a Facebook page titled "Ted Cruz is the Zodiac Killer" was launched.
Why not?
And it got 9,400 likes in 2 months.
Okay.
On January 20th, 2016, Twitter user at Linzetta posted a fake quote of Cruz confessing to the Zodiac Killer murders. That evening, Twitter user at Zeppa Wilbury tweeted that Cruz was born in Calgary. The Zodiac Killer's first 2 victims were named Cal and Gary. Hashtag Zodiac Ted. Now, on the night of one of the debates,
Oh no.
at VRunt tweeted, "Everyone Googled Ted Cruz is a Zodiac Killer." So it shows up on the CBS trend ticker because they were showing what people were Googling on the night of the debate. And they did it.
Oh my god.
The number 1 search at one point during the debate was, "Is Ted Cruz the Zodiac Killer?" On February 17th, activist Tim Faust began selling t-shirts printed with the depiction of Cruz as the Zodiac Killer.
My brother actually has those shirts.
On February 20th, Tim Nunley pointed out that Cruz was born after the murders.
Yeah, that's some bullshit. I want to see his
Now,
birth certificate.
on February
Wait.
26th, NPR reported that many of the people involved in popularizing the meme think that Cruz is creepy, and they want to point out this fact by calling him the Zodiac Killer.
So they called him the Zodiac Killer because he's creepy?
Yep.
Wow.
That makes sense.
What the fuck?
I'd call
Why?
people
Like, why the Zodiac Killer too? Like, why not anyone else? You know what I mean?
Jack the
because he
Ripper.
looks like him in like the rough sketch. But to be honest, people do this a lot. Like if you see back in high school when there was like the quiet nerdy kid who sat in the back and wore black and had like the trench coat, I gave him a Snickers because I was afraid he was gonna kill me one day.
Now,
Would've.
the news site The Verge did publish an
Right.
article about this. And the article's headline is called, "Who Called Ted Cruz the Zodiac Killer? Why? And is he?"
The
So-
Verge.
So there has been a lot of things. One of the main things about it is that people take the picture, the composite sketch of the Zodiac Killer, and say Ted Cruz looks like the Zodiac Killer because they say Ted Cruz looks like a lot of things because he does. He's an amorphous human being that doesn't look like anything in particular.
Good word.
Yeah,
That
word
was
of
a
the
big
day.
word.
I know.
SAT word.
I'm gonna educate you.
No.
LSAT word.
No, word of the day is paradise spelled with a fucking C.
The word of the day is Ted Cruz is a Zodiac Killer.
Yeah, oh, nice.
Hashtags are all one word, so it counts. So that is where we come to the end of our discussion of the Zodiac Killer. I think we had a fun time talking about the Zodiac Killer.
Yeah.
This was a
This
really
was a fun
fucking
one.
scatterbrained episode.
I think we had an educational episode this time around, unlike last week, which was just us spewing garbage from our mouths.
right.
He's no Albert Fish.
Well, the Zodiac Killer's better.
Who do we
He never
think
got
is the
caught.
Zodiac Killer? Who
Who
do
do
we
you
really
think?
think?
Ellen O'Neill.
I think it was Arthur Lee Allen.
Yeah, same.
The evidence of him saying that. There's also reports of him saying that when he emerged from scuba diving, he had a bloody knife.
Yeah, there's another suspect that kind of strikes me as familiar because that girl Kathleen Johns was in a car with the Zodiac for an extended period of time, and she
If it
said-
happened.
Yeah, if it even happened, and she said that one suspect named Kane.
Lawrence Kane.
Yeah, Lawrence Kane could have been the Zodiac.
Larry.
So I think it's between him and Arthur Lee Allen.
Lawrence Kane is one of the suspects. The reason a lot of other people say it was Lawrence Kane is that when they started to decrypt the name that he had sent in coded form, they came upon Kane in that
So it's
It
actually
was
me.
Jenna.
depiction. So they think it's him. There's other suspects. Like I mentioned, Ted Kaczynski. There's Earl Van Besch Jr., who looks strikingly like the composite sketch. He has the same glasses, the same size ears and nose.
Do I know who I think it was?
Who do you think it was?
Ted Cruz.
Ted Cruz.
Okay. Thank you.
Derek
Um,
Barnes.
No. This is what I really
Rick
think.
Marshall. Rick
No,
Marshall.
this
Rick
is what I
Marshall.
really. This is what I really think it was. Are you ready?
Yeah.
George Bush.
Okay, George Bush.
Which one?
Yeah, there's
which
multiple.
one? George W. Bush or George H.W. Bush?
W.
All of them.
Okay, both of them combined together. But no, we've come to the end of our discussion about the Zodiac Killer. But that means
And he's never been found.
he's never been found, and they're never gonna find him because if
He's dead.
he's dead or in his late 80s,
Or he's Ellen.
so there's no
I'm the reincarnated.
there's no way they're gonna find him.
Yeah.
And unless he is still alive and in his late 80s and confesses on his deathbed, we're never gonna know.
Let's
I
hope.
hope he does
Confess.
on his deathbed.
I do
That would be
too.
Amazing.
I would do that because what's the point? Like,
Exactly. You're
die.
gonna die. Be like, hey,
That's a nice bit of silence for our audio.
Confirmed. Ellen is dying.
See, this is what you do. You lie dormant for a long time, and then you work it back up, and then you die.
But I also another thing of evidence I just remembered of Arthur Lee Allen is there's some inactive years in that timeline, and some of the inactive years are like in between when he went to jail for another crime, and the Zodiac there was no communication during that 3 years. Arthur Lee Allen was in jail.
But wait, how did you see The Exorcist?
He seems.
Well, we saw it. You can watch
saw it
movies
as soon
in
as he
jail.
got out of jail.
You can watch
as
movies
he's
in jail.
writing the letter, he's like, "Oh, this is a fucking good movie. I'm gonna add this."
He just had to let out his feelings.
Yeah. Also, you can see movies in jail.
Can you?
They have TVs in jail.
do
I've never been to jail, so I don't know.
Neither have I, but I know this.
in the lunchrooms, yeah,
They have
and
TVs.
in the break room.
They have a fucking break. They're
They have a
in
rec
jail.
room, not a break. What are they taking a break from?
Jail.
Jail.
All right, 30 minutes
Rapists.
break time.
All right, so I think we should wrap up the discussion of the Zodiac in a nice, neat little bow.
What bow?
Okay.
What kind of bow? Like a Christmas bow?
Yeah, Christmas bow.
A Ted Cruz bow.
Ted Cruz bow. It's just the decoration of all like Ted Cruz face all over the bow. But Ellen, I think it's time. Do you have something to rant about tonight?
okay, shit.
Ellen's
I was trying to look things up. I don't know. Okay, I'm gonna need a little bit of help.
Gotcha.
Okay,
Why?
because I can't think of something to rant about.
Oh my God,
What?
we have Ellen's rants with no rants.
Ellen came unprepared.
I was.
What else is
I
new?
was trying to look up things. I'm like, I Google search like list of rants, and I'm just like,
Okay, does anyone here have anything they want to
Yeah, I
rant
have
about
something
then?
to rant about. I was eating a Go-Gurt today.
This is Ellen's rant with Amanda.
Amanda edition.
All right, Amanda, you're eating a Go-Gurt.
I was eating a Go-Gurt, and I realized, does anybody remember the fizzy Go-Gurts?
No.
What?
What
They
the
like
fuck is that?
fizzed?
No.
Like when you ate them, they were like fizzy, and it was like eating Pop Rocks, but it was Go-Gurt.
Ew.
I don't know, it's delicious.
now I have something to rant about. What the fuck are you talking about?
Ranting about Amanda.
I was so pissed off. I swear, somebody's look it up. They're called Physics.
I'm not looking it up.
You should look it up.
I'm not fucking looking it up either.
But they got fucking rid of them. They got rid of that, and they got rid of the Wonder Balls for like most of my adult life until like this year. I went into the grocery store and I saw Wonder Balls, which are the chocolate balls with the little Disney characters inside.
They were not just Disney characters. They were just like little fun little candies.
Yeah, whatever they were, I didn't care. I missed them, and they were gone for most of my high school and middle school years. And they brought them back as soon as I became an adult.
Amanda, I would like to play you a song on the world's tiniest violin.
fucking, you know what I hate though?
Oh, we got a random there.
Okay.
You know what I
we gotta bring
fucking
this
hate?
closer.
All right. How about that fucking bubble tea? What the fuck is that shit?
Fuck you. Fuck you.
No! Fuck you!
Fuck you.
Fuck you!
Amanda, this is Ellen's rant, so we're gonna let Ellen talk first, and then you can go ahead.
Okay, so let me tell you about the story of the first and only fucking time, the first and the last fucking time I had bubble tea. All right? What is it called even? Boobla tea or bubble tea? Boba tea? What the fuck kind of name is that though? I don't even know what that means. What's a boba?
Boba Fett.
Well, fucking whatever. Okay, so I got the mango one, right?
Okay.
Oh,
And I was
that's-
just
that's
like-
the problem.
I was just like, this tastes like ass and throw up all in one. And I was just like, I spent some money on this, so I need to finish it. So then I was in the King of Prussia Mall, right, with my friends, and I was just like, we were walking around, and I'm like, I need someone to help me drink this. So people would, but then they stopped because it fucking tastes like ass and throw up. You would want to fucking drink
You
that?
got the mango one. That's why.
You what?
The mango one sucks. I could have told you the mango one.
Okay, but
Yeah.
if there's a product out there, like, shouldn't all of them be, like, good?
No.
That's just my opinion.
Usually mango is a good flavor to get.
Normally, but not for boba.
Exactly. So
Kiwi's better. Try the kiwi.
I'm not.
Bitch, we're not
Because-
from New Zealand. We're not going to try kiwis.
But then again, I like kiwis. But then again, that wasn't the only problem with it.
Okay.
Is it the
I
balls?
don't like the balls. I feel weird when they slide down my throat.
There's tapioca balls.
I know, and that's
Do
disgusting.
you usually feel weird when balls are sliding down your throat?
I didn't know balls could fit in your mouth, Ellen.
Listen,
No.
if balls can't fit in your mouth, then you're not doing it right.
Usually, when I eat.
Balls.
Wait,
When
what
you
is
eat
the
when you
word?
eat circular things.
Yes.
Spherical object.
Spherical, that's the word I was trying to say.
Spherical.
Spherical shaped foods. I like it. It soothes me. I don't
No,
know.
I understand.
Because I like to bite into them.
like
and-
grapes.
Yes, grapes. And then sometimes I like to bite them and then take them out and look in the middle of it and then eat the rest of it. You know what I mean?
I do.
I'm curious about foods
Yeah.
and what they look
Blueberries. Blueberries are fucking green inside.
like. See,
Fuck
blueberries. I'm very picky about blueberries
I don't like them.
because I like them.
I don't either.
I love blueberries.
I like them,
My
but
favorite
I hate the
berries.
mushy ones. I hate the mushy ones.
Let's
Yeah,
go back to
freeze
the
them first.
let's go back to the thing you hate,
Boba.
tapioca balls.
Tapioca balls, they're so fucking
They are
disgusting. I'm just
disgusting.
like, what is this? Like, okay, tapioca. Okay,
Who likes tapioca? Like,
old
let's be-
people.
right?
I like the tapioca balls, but I really like boba tea, so.
Hate boba tea.
You didn't even know what it's called before.
I know.
Why do
I
people
thought
call it
was
bubble tea?
Bubble tea is the American.
Because they're fucking bubbles.
Because they look like bubbles in the tea.
It's basically the Americanization. They're
Okay.
Because we
and
don't know
plus,
how to say boba.
how is it?
Yeah.
How is it spelled?
B-O-B-A.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like Boba Fett.
Okay. Well,
I said
I
that
never
right.
knew the spelling, so I guess why that's what. Or maybe people just make fun of it,
Mm-hmm.
and they're just like bubble.
What if people make fun of you?
People do make fun of me.
Yeah, we do.
Oh, we just turned a corner.
So
I don't make fun of Ellen because I love
Yes,
Ellen.
you do. That's fucking bullshit. It's okay. I don't care about that. I care about the boba.
That's
That
all
is-
she cares about.
That is the subject at hand.
I feel like you have so much more to rant about, though.
She does.
About
Look
the
at her
boba?
face.
No,
Yeah.
just in general.
About the boba tea.
You know, I realized something today. Somebody told me, what was it? I think it
I do have more to rant about too.
About the
But
boba
you
tea?
can finish your thought. No.
it's a small
I'm
fry.
done with the boba.
Forever?
My roommate, for some reason, she thinks of weird things. I mean, don't we all? But she said, you know, I never really realized this, but an ass full of dildos is just one dildo. And I turned to her and I said,
What does that mean?
I need to get this face.
I'm sorry.
Oh my god.
He was pretty bad.
Oh, it's face.
Jenna should put it on the
My phone is dead.
What does that mean? No, repeat that again.
Yeah.
What
I
you
guess I
said?
need to get this.
she goes, an ass full of dildos. Because my mom called me a dildo.
Alright.
Did she call her an ass full of dildos
No,
or
she
just
called-
one?
She FaceTimed me and she called me a dildo. And then Hannah, out of the fucking nowhere of her mind, goes, an ass full of dildos is just one dildo. And I turned to her and I looked, and very seriously I said, that's fucking quitter's talk right there.
I was gonna say, I was thinking, I was like, it doesn't have to be.
What if you get a bunch of tiny dildos?
Like midget
By the way,
dildos.
on Amazon,
Hey, you don't know if midgets have bigger
on
small
Amazon they have
No,
a practice
they-
circumcision kit. Like, it's a real thing.
They what?
A
They have
practice
small
circumcision.
You don't know that?
A
Yes, I
practice
do.
circumcision kit
No.
that comes with little dicks in a bag.
Have you ever seen a midget's dick?
Ellen, what else do you have to rant on?
Okay.
She should save me.
Okay.
Yeah, really. Why don't you save them until next week?
Okay.
So you don't
She should
forget.
save
I
me.
don't
She's
wanna
gonna forget
forget.
in a week.
Yeah,
So
just
write them down.
All right, I should write it down.
She's not gonna write it
She's not gonna
down.
write it
I
down.
should be
I
like,
think
you
it's
should
right
do
now.
it like
Right
Frankie.
yeah, just one more. Just do one more.
Or send it to me.
Okay. Well, all right. What's the consensus? Should I do it or
Do
should I
it.
wait?
Just
it.
fucking do it.
Do it.
Okay. My fucking teacher.
She'll
Okay.
have more. She'll have more to
Bobby.
rant about.
No, not Bob Reed. He's not my teacher.
Anymore.
He was never my teacher. He's not my president. Okay. Okay.
I'm here.
So my teacher, I'm not gonna name names. You know who you are.
You're not listening.
You know who you are.
What if they were listening?
I'd cry.
Okay, so like sometimes I'll give her my work, and I'm not saying that it's gold or anything. It is not liquid gold or anything, you know. It's things that make sense. And then she would
I don't think they are with that sentence you just said.
and she'll be like, I don't see how these things connect. And I'm just like,
I agree. I don't see how they fucking connect at this point either.
I'm just like, you have a PhD.
Is that it?
If I can see how they connect, you should see how they connect. Do you know what I mean?
No.
And like I've said and I've showed these things that I submit to my friends who are smarter than me. And I'm like
And they don't see it either.
no, they're like, oh yeah, this makes sense. This is good. And then I'm just like,
What class is this for?
psych stuff.
Bartell.
No, I don't have him. I'm not naming names. It's not. I love Bartel.
I love Bartell too.
I love Bartel. Oh my god.
I like Una too.
Yeah, she's cool.
What?
Are we good? Are you
Yes,
done ranting
yes.
about this?
Yes.
All right, ladies and gentlemen. It's getting late.
Is
I
it?
have so much stuff to do.
I'm getting tired.
I have an all-nighter to pull.
We are going to wrap up this episode in a nice, swift, almost hour and a half.
Ted Cruz bolt though.
Nice
Ted Cruz for
vote.
president.
No, ew, no. So let's go through
Come
the
on, let's be
spiel
real.
again.
Kanye West for president.
Like, comment, subscribe.
Don't.
Put on our Facebook page who you think the Zodiac Killer is.
I was just gonna say that.
Tweet at us who you think the Zodiac Killer is.
Tell me how awesome I am.
Comment on YouTube
Find
on
us
who
on
you think
Snapchat.
the Zodiac Killer is.
Snapchat.
Find us on Snapchat at shittalkin, SHITTALKIN,
Shameless plug.
hashtag
Shit
sellout.
talking.
Shit talking, no G. It'll show up as STWE crew. You'll get to see some behind the scenes stuff of us filming and recording. It's super
Being,
great.
Just
Idiots in
nerds.
general.
What are you talking about, idiots?
Idiots. It's idiot. We're for idiots.
yeah.
Idiots.
There are 5 of us here, sir.
Yeah, he can't call me an idiot because
Yeah.
I'll kill him.
We're for permanent idiots with a revolving door of guest idiots once in a while.
The revolving door of guests.
Nipple attack.
Oh, that's the second nipple attack of the night. It's the final nipple attack of the night.
It's a final.
No! Stop it! Oh my god!
I was thinking
It was a
nipple.
parody.
It was a parody. It's fair use.
Parody, fair use. Hashtag
Yeah,
sellout.
my Joe song was a parody.
So stop it. Stop your voice. We're gonna end the show.
I don't understand this abuse.
We're gonna end the show now. Like I said, like, comment, subscribe, share us with your friends,
another
share us with your
rant.
family, share us with your pet, your dog, your cat, your goldfish. Amanda,
No.
you wanna say goodbye first?
Not the goldfish.
Yeah, why not?
Say goodbye to the people.
Bye, fuckers.
Wow.
Like we said before, Amanda's views do not represent the view of Shit Talking Crew.
I think my views are.
Goodbye, everyone.
See you later.
Hasta la vista.
Bye, I'm Ellen.